125th, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now,
Yeah.
Black Ink Radio.
Yo. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. It's your girl, Pure Honey, here with a listening session. It was too far?
Talking to the front of it. Front.
Was.
Yeah. No, not the top, the front.
Okay.
Like you used to. Yeah, exactly.
Like you used
And
to.
turn yours around,
I
brother.
got it, Ike.
Thank you. There you go.
Alrighty, everybody. So
Crispy. My bad. Go ahead.
Thanks for the direction.
You know,
there,
we just
Rich.
talking here.
You know.
We just communicating.
And what's up, everybody? I'm going to start this over. So thanks for tuning in to a listening session with your girl, Pure Honey. We are back here live on Black Ink Radio. Another beautiful listening session. So I have a guest here with me today by the name of Ali Brathwaite.
Period.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm well. So
Awesome.
I appreciate you being here. You didn't have any trouble finding the place?
Nope, not at all.
No.
Not at
And
all.
we talked about how your day was. It was
Yes.
eventful and still got more
Yeah, I
things
still got things to do, but that's the grind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about your grind since you mentioned the grind. What is it that you're grinding doing at this point?
Yes, my grind is I am a book publisher. I've been doing that since 2004. I'm also a filmmaker. I've been doing that since 2010.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I moved to Atlanta, because I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
So I
Shout
moved
out
down
New York,
here.
New York in the building.
Definitely.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can't do.
Period.
Okay.
So that was our main reason for coming down here, was for film,
Okay.
and that's what we've been doing.
So how did Atlanta or Georgia period become the specific place to come to of all the other places that you could have?
Yes, because while in New York, when we were shooting film, it was very expensive
Okay.
to shoot up there, as far as getting locations and stuff like that. So I just started researching. So I'm like, we got to find some place where we can go and shoot our films, and it won't be, as expensive. So I thought about LA.
Okay.
And then I did my research about LA, and it was even
More
more expensive than New
that's,
York.
That's what I would think.
So then I started just Googling, and then Georgia came up.
Okay.
And then I keyed in movies made in Georgia, and like pages of movies made in Georgia.
Do any stand out?
All the Marvel movies, Tyler Perry.
Okay.
That's another reason why I came down, because I looked at Tyler Perry's movies. All his movies were made here. And then I read something that really stuck out to me, and they said that the reason why people like to shoot films in Georgia is because you can find like any location in Georgia. Like if you want the city, if you want the suburbs, if you want a ranch, if you want a plantation,
Yeah.
anything you want, you can find it in Georgia. And then when I seen how cheap it was compared to New York, I'm like, you know what, we going to Georgia.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
And came to Georgia. Just
And we
picked
came
up.
to Georgia. We picked up. First, we came down here and stayed in a hotel for like a week to find a place to live. And once we found the place, we just came on down.
Okay.
Period.
So, where does your passion for film derive from?
It was something that, from when I was young, I just used to love to tell stories.
Really?
Yeah,
How
I
young?
love, I'll say like 8 years old.
Okay. And at 8
8
years old, you're telling.
I'm like writing stories out. I was like the only one in school when it was like story time, and the teacher would read. I would sit right up front, and I would just be mesmerized by
Really?
stories and stuff like
That
that.
was like the most boring time for me, personally.
That was the most.
And you loved it.
I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
That's not, and so from there you started telling stories to other
It was almost like, I would say, it died when I went into the street. It kind of like, it left me. And then a situation arose in like 2003 where my wife and I were kind of strapped for money. And at that time, that's when urban fiction came out, True to the Game and all that stuff. And so I was like, why don't we write a book? And my wife was like, what kind of book we gonna write? And I told her urban fiction is really selling right now. So we basically wrote a book loosely based on our life, as far as me being in the streets and doing what I did and how I got arrested and stuff. And it actually did very well for us.
Okay.
Yes, very, very, very well. Yes.
I'm definitely glad to hear that.
The title of that book is Youngin.
What's the title of that book?
Youngin. And it did so well, we did a part 2 called Old Timer.
Okay.
And then we did a part 3 called Paper Trail.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and they all did very well.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
So you sent me a YouTube link.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that link entails and everybody?
Yes. In addition to doing movies, my wife and I also like doing documentaries, and primarily documentaries based around women. And this trailer is about a documentary that we're working on now called She Connects Us. And basically what it is that, you know, my wife and I had a conversation with a young lady, and she thought the position that she was in was unique. She thought she was the only one that was going through these, you know, trials and tribulations. And we're like, no, there's plenty of women that's going through stuff like that you're going through, and they actually overcame it. She was like, really, who? So that sparked the idea. Why don't we get about 6 or 7 women together, let them tell their story, and in turn make it into a documentary and let women know that they're not alone. What they may be going through, there are other women that are going through it as well, and this is how they overcame it, and you can do it as well.
Okay, and so this is the trailer for this documentary.
Yes.
And the documentary's name is
She Connects Us.
She Connects Us. Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, let's see. I'm ready to
Let's do
see
it.
what we got.
I believe my father went to jail my father went to jail more than one time, so I really don't know the time period. Like, it was many times. Like, he'll get out of jail and I'll see him, and then he'll go back and I wouldn't see him for a while. So there was multiple times that my father went to jail.
I was 1 when my father went to prison. I was 13 when he came home. When my father came home, he did not come looking for me initially. I had to find out that he was home, you know, just by my hairstylist.
I have different ideas on myself. I don't really know if I love myself or not. I don't know what loving myself is. I think it might have a little bit to do with the absence of my father. Just a little.
Me and my father are friends on social media, and I think that's what hurts me the most, is that he's sorry. He sees me and he doesn't reach out.
Okay. Taking the aback. So, you know, from this perspective, seeing what you put together in that presentation there, what was it like for you on the other end, actually filming and getting this footage and seeing these emotions, you know, coming out? Because, you know, a lot of times people decide they want to do different things and they don't think about the downside of that, you know. So for me, I always think about how it's going to make me feel, because, you know, I can't function at my best if I'm sad or down. So I would never want to be like a paramedic or a police, you know. I feel like you see too much negativity, but even in your lane, you know, of work, of business, of what you do, you're still exposed to the same things, which that just kind of blew my mind a little bit. So what is it like for you having to pull those emotions out? Because that's what makes good content.
I definitely was not prepared for the level of of pain that was coming out. And because I've done documentaries before on stuff like that. One was called Spit and Anger, and it was basically the absence of fathers from their sons' lives. And when the men talked about it, even though they did get kind of emotional, they didn't go as deep as these women did. Even that young girl, you know, they were really hurting, and I connected with that pain. With the men, I don't know what it was. It was like I was just asking the questions. It was like, yeah, okay, all right, okay.
You have to know how to, I'm saying from a woman's perspective, you have to know how to formulate the question to get the answer you're looking for precisely from a man, more so than a woman. You can ask
Most
us
definitely.
a vague question, we're going to give you a detailed answer. If I ask you a vague question, you're going to give me a bland answer back. So you have to know how to get in there. And with that being said, I like to ask and find out, what, if you had to say anything that you are afraid of, what is the one thing that you have to say?
What is the one thing I'm afraid of? That is a good question. I've never been asked that before. What's the one thing I'm afraid? I think the one thing that I'm afraid of is trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be everything to everyone, and sometimes I feel like if I can't be that I'll be labeled as a failure. So it's almost like I fear not being who I have to be for everybody.
Not being who you have to be for everyone else,
Yes.
which comes before you being who you need to be for you.
Yes, like for instance, being the husband, being the father, being the grandfather, being that shoulder to cry on. It's almost like if I can't be that.
I feel like the pressure is definitely put on the men these days in a way that adds more tension than it really helps. You know, personally, I understand what you're saying, in which that's definitely respected. But it shouldn't. I'm trying to make sure I word this properly, because you have to be who you have to be for you first. It can't
Yeah.
be someone else, because if I'm not even here to be something for you, like if I'm not taking care of me, I won't even be here. So that requires me to be producing my own happiness, following my own dreams, and doing what I want to do. So that will alone will minimize the amount that I have for everything and everyone else. So they get less than me. I get more, so that I am here to be able to do exactly what I need to do. So I don't spread yourself too thin, and then you wouldn't be feeling afraid of that if you were putting yourself first. And not, like I said, when people say that, it's like, oh, you supposed to put. I'm a person that believes in putting other people first while I'm sitting here giving you that advice, you know. I am.
Yeah.
However, I have realized while I'm doing that, I'm just giving and giving and draining on down. And then I have to take a break, a step back, to figure out a new plan, because I'm giving out so much and got so much expectation on me that I'm not even taking care of me. So, but you feel like that's the one, you fear nothing more than not adding up or mounting up to the person.
Well, it's basically I fear failing. So it's not that I may not measure up to who they may want me to be, because I feel that if I do measure up to it, then that's me. I'm like, you may not think I am, but I know that I am. But my thing is me not being there for that person the way I
Okay, what
should
if they
be.
need you and you're not in a position to be there?
Oh, well, then I can't be there, and that's not gonna like make me think that I failed.
So when
You
does
know
it
what I
become
mean?
failure? At what point does it feel
To
like
me,
failure?
to me, it becomes failure when, let's say, if my granddaughter, for instance, this was a situation that happened where she came home and she was trying to talk to me about something that happened at school, and I was so busy working, I kind of downplayed it. And then it kind of hit me later on when she was kind of moping. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And when she tried to tell me again, that's when it hit me like,
She was trying to tell me
I
this
should have
earlier.
been there, but I was so into what I was doing. And then I got, I really took it hard on myself. Like, you need to look out for signs like that, because anything could have happened. She could have went out and did something crazy or reckless, and she was coming to you for help, and you missed that sign.
I mean, but however, nobody is perfect, and
Yeah,
you still
that's
called
true.
it, and it was just simply a learning experience for you. I just don't apply too much pressure on yourself. I feel like you're a good guy. You have the right intentions. You're doing everything you can for the people around you. So I don't feel like you should have to fear not adding up. I'm pretty sure you're already what everybody needs you to be. You don't think
Period.
so?
Yeah, I think so. At times, I think so.
Oh.
But I'm not perfect, so I
gotta get
don't want to say I'm there all the time, because I know that I'm not. And like you said, I'm human, so I do fall short sometimes. But
Okay, it's understandable.
yeah.
So, for the people listening, networking purposes, what would you tell people to reach out for? What are you looking for clientele for? What do you have to offer anybody that's in the industry overall?
Yeah, I'm very heavy into videography, so also filmmaking. So if people, because you have people that want to make films, they want to make documentaries, they want to do podcasts. So, I do all of that. Okay. So if they would like to get a film made, or documentary, short film, music video, podcast,
Music video.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I do it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
And I'm
so-
always looking for actors and actresses.
Okay.
Because, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, and so where can they find you? How would they get in touch with you? Tell everybody where they can.
Yes, they can go to our website, www.letustellyourstory.net.
www.letustellyourstory.net.
Yes.
And everything they need to contact.
Everything is
Set
right
up.
there on the website.
Okay, it's right there for them.
Yep, everything is right there on the website. Videos of what we do, examples of what we do. So,
All right, well, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure having
yeah.
you. I definitely appreciate you coming out. Good
definitely.
luck with
Thank
your
you for
next
having me.
business venture tonight. No, you got. Oh, didn't you say you had?
Yeah, tonight is like it's a listening party, so I'm basically covering the event, video, and stuff like that.
Okay,
So,
that should be
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, thanks again for tuning in. This has been a listening session with your girl, Pure Honey. Shout out Black Ink Radio. Rich Mo, behind the scenes, Gene. Again, this was Ollie Brathwaite. Thank everybody for tuning in. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Hoes. No, bitch, I'ma stay lit. See a nigga pull up in a Lambo. Be y'all up with y'all dick. Lame ass hoes, I don't trust none though, so I always be on my shit. Money, I don't gamble, niggas. Fuck him so good that he call me a hoe. I give him this pussy and take his lingo. Yeah, you gotta know that it's real. My bitches look good and we all dressed to kill. I know some shooters that's hoovers. Lick that shit up, call them movers. Real niggas keep a blicky with them. Toolie to your noodles, I stick it to you. Never could I want you and I fuck your homie. My bitch hit me up and drop the addy on you. Now we gon' ride, cause all of that capping, you know, and them hitters gon' slide. I'm out my mind and been that way since the day I remember that my granny died. 15, just a teen. Memories kill me, and I be sparing. You fuck niggas, all of y'all lucky. The real ops be the thoughts, is calling the cops and taking your knots. But you busy spinning the block with hot niggas. That's fresh out the can, that shot niggas. To be with your man, so stop, nigga. Don't know what you want, I treat me like a princess. Like a stall, I shit, and I'm gone, ain't laying no niggas. Chest. You Luigi cannot appease me, nigga, you second best. Don't love with my heart, that's wrong, and I don't want cardiac arrest. No cardiac arrest. Don't want it. Princess. Like a stall, I shit, and I'm gone, ain't laying no niggas. Chest. You Luigi cannot appease me, nigga, you second best. Don't love with my heart, that's wrong, and I don't want cardiac arrest. No cardiac arrest. No feeling. Told him with all of me emotions, he childish. Fuck this on boy, now both of them wildin'. We ain't supposed to have feelings in it. I'm confused, call Kimmy. Do I like the nigga send me? You trippin', you knew I was tempting. I ain't gotta spare no hoe. When you had the chance, you didn't, so caught the ops and start clapping. You know that nigga, I told ya, we ain't speaking if you ain't freaking. Calling me quick, I'm running, you need me. Doing the dash so your hoes can't see me. Pulling up fast, just hopping the beamer. You all on my ass, cash out for this feature. You mention your moms, but I wanna meet her. Beat me like a drum, not slow like a beetle. Titty sitting up like grandma when she fall asleep on that couch watching Eddie Griffin. All on my knees with a band-aid, swallow your kids so you know that it ain't no speaking. Picking me up so we slide in the rental. Don't tell me what you finna do, ain't my business. Got out too fast, up his scales in my car, neighborhood trap star, so we put you in Guinness. Told him I don't need no foreplay, slide that 40 across the bitch clip till I come. Got me singing like I'm Trey Songz or a gospel singer hitting them runs. Giving this pussy, we fucking the yo. We having his way and I'm touching my toes. Pure honey and I came here to talk my shit. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck, nobody stopping me, bitch. Ain't no I'm litty when I'm in your city. Got my bitches with me, ass and titties, they ain't little bitty. Nigga, we like big shit, ayy. Big rocks, big trucks, that's what we copping here. And this bitch ain't too bougie, I'm in the project, But that hoe over there hating wanna be just like me. Just let it calm down, all of my bitches is crazy and we cause a rag. Pulling up quick, lit heels on our toes and they doing the dance. After hours, after jazz, all of my niggas got knots in their pants. Rubber band knots won't fit off in them jeans. Love my inches like them long, but I ain't rocking Chinese bangs. We come to the club, we feeling it up and you know what it is. They all on our nuts, but we don't give a fuck, we like it, shit. I'm looking around, and I'm seeing them watching, they wanna be down. But ho, I ain't Brandy, wouldn't like to be, so you can't be now. Shit, but I finish it, you know I'm bossy. But I'm with the shit, you wish a bitch would. I pray a bitch don't. I rock Chanel bags, Christian Dior coats. You get your bag though, and then you turn up. Ain't playing with these hoes, cause they don't want it. You take care of your kids and do it dolo. We keep them on their toes, that's why we in the top 10. You know me, fine day, time to talk to these hoes, cause I be getting the check, the runway walk through the door. When I see your nigga looking, watching out, hit the flow. I'm the key, cause you can stick me in, but ain't no turning trick, I'm thorough. And ain't no downgrade, I need big watch just to talk my shit. I need an endorsement, when my lips get padded, they gon' sell quick. And you need a timer, better yet a reminder that I'm that bitch. Cause when we in the club, we run it, you like it, so I'ma talk my shit. But I finish it, you know I'm bossy. And I'm with the shit, you wish a bitch would. I pray a bitch don't. I rock Chanel bags, Christian Dior coats. You get your bag though, and then you turn up. Ain't playing with these hoes.